yeah, you know, the first boat I ever built, I never had any teacher or anything. And how the hell will I ever get to the top of this boat? I don't know anything about it. So I had some builders show up that had built full-size boats, but they were not, they didn't how to they had never built the real small boats. They'd worked like in Snow Shipyard in Rockland and so forth. Never built a small boat. So I thought, well, no, I got to get to the top of this thing somehow. And they had it all set up, and I managed to get the garboard on. I thought, well, I got to get the next plank on, broad strake, I guess you call it. You had to get the next one on. How am I going to do it? you got to spile this thing somehow. So I had a lot of live edge planks laying around, and it occurred to me that all I had to do was just strap another plank right over the one that's already on, just simply mark the top of the plank that was already on onto the one that I wanted to fit next, measure the distance to the top of the boat, divide it all up, and each mold station I knew what width I had to have there. And I just simply did that and ran a batten through it to fare it all out. Hey, it came out beautiful. Couldn't believe it. First boat I ever planked up, Carvel. Well, hopefully the mold are fair to begin with. That's the start of it. And then I found out from way back, having built 16-foot Carvel plank boats, that the boats kind of fare themselves. The planking wants to lay pretty much in a straight line. You can pull if you start at the bottom, work your way up, you can pull the frames in or out a little bit to help fare the boat. But if you start at the top and you plank down, say, to the bilge or something, from the keel to the bilge, put in a shutter, you're locked into that kind of plank faring, I guess you could call it. I always started right from the keel and planked my way up. Then another thing I learned from old-time boat builders, there was Sid Thompson built wherries and Peapods for the Coast Guard way back in the, I guess, 1920s and 30s. And my brother-in-law lived there in his house, and he was cleaning out Sid's stuff, and he had all these paper planks, you know, rolled up out of this, I guess they call it this rosin building paper. And I found that I could do the same thing, but before that, I didn't realize you could get away with that. But when I made a plank, I would make a copy of it, and the next boat that I built, I would use a copy of each plank rolled up just the same as this old fellow had them. I have them still in the trunk over there. We'll never build another boat, but that was another learning lesson for me. Builders who departed, and they never knew, they taught me.